okay.
Guys, I don't know.
We're sorry. We don't know. It won't let us be the other way.
I was so excited because, like, we got on here and the sign was perfect and it, like, you could see both of us so well. And
I know,
now
we usually have to have, like, 5 minutes of adjustments. We're not kidding. It's a problem. Hi, Em.
Hey, Emily.
Just go with it.
I mean, for real, you guys. I'm sorry.
Hi, Miss D.
We should have, I don't know. It didn't give us the warning until after I already pushed the live button.
Yeah. And it was, like, there, and we're like, well, maybe it will just go away.
Misty.
It didn't. It didn't just go away.
Thanks, Misty. She says you're good. And you guys are, like, following us around. They're like, live, not live, live, not live. Like, oh, they're gone. Oh, we're back.
Well, I mean, we were always here. We just didn't want to be like, you gotta turn your head to see us.
I've just never in my life. And, you know, I've been downloading these and putting them on our YouTube channel. And this is going to look dumb.
Yes, because, you know what? Maybe our children will look up to us now because we're on YouTube.
Hashtag goals. Not.
Livy's always like, I want to be a YouTube, whatever she calls them when I grow up.
YouTuber.
And I'm like, no, you don't. And she's like, why not? And she's like, can I do it now? I'm like, no, you're a child. And she's like, other kids do it. I'm like, they're parents.
Not me.
Judgy. I'm being judgy.
Week 5, Devo, the root of you. Did anyone get it and read it? We've just found out that one of our besties hasn't been reading. So I want to know, have you guys been reading?
See, we're even calling her out on live.
Not naming her.
Facebook. We keep kind of looking over there, so maybe you guys will know who it is. She didn't even know what the series was about.
For shame.
I know, which was sad, because it's been a good series.
It has been. It's been fun to try and look at it from that perspective of comparing Genesis chapter 1 to, like, the total creation to how God has made us. So
yes.
Misty says, thank you, Misty. Misty's reading our stuff.
Thank you. She is.
It's not for naught, then.
It's not for naught anyways. I mean, even if only it helps one person.
It's true.
One person. Alright. So this week, I wanted to name this week's Who's Your Daddy? But it didn't feel like that was okay. So
appropriate was the word she used.
Is what we chose. But in case you want, you know, an inside look at the process, that's where we began.
It's pretty comical up here, I'm not gonna lie. Are you writing or am I writing?
Mm-hmm.
Are you writing or am I writing?
I have time.
Yeah. Okay, then you do it. And then, come in. Okay, help me, she said. That's what she okay, help me. I'm like, okay.
Well, I was nothing.
With
and
what?
Then I said that, and she was like, well, what are you writing about? And I'm like, well, it's day 6. And she was like, well, what have you written so far? Like, to pull a title from that? I'm like, not a word.
Oh, good.
Not
so,
anything.
You're not helping me help you then.
And I have this notepad that I just write down complete and utter nonsense, like, all day long in, and I'm like, this is, like, what my notes are that make sense to literally no one else but me. So in case this helps you, come with the title.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So she literally ends up, like, saying 3, 4, 5 more words, and then she's like, yep, that's it, that's the title. And then she just, like, walks out. I was like, you're welcome for the help. I did nothing. She
helped me have a thought process.
No. I was a wall. And she just, like, bounced off. I know. None of this is me. It's very good, and none of it is me.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Okay.
All right. So, oh, crap. I was going to print off the entirety of this part of Genesis, and I forgot. So I'll just have to look it up. Because I didn't want to put it all on here, because day 6 is, like, most of it. It's a long thing, and it's Genesis 1, I think it's 27 through, I thought maybe it would help me, but it's not helping me. Well, maybe I'll just have to find the whole thing. because I wanted to read it all. I just didn't want it to have to be there taking up so much of the devotional. Sorry. But
so technically, week 5, we're doing day 6 because we combined.
We combined 2 and 4
later on week 2.
On week 2, yes. Sorry, our Wi-Fi's slow up here sometimes on my phone. The first verse, I mean, obviously what we're taking it from is Genesis 1, and verse 27 is the one that I thought was the most important, so that's what I added to the devotional. And it's, so God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them. And I thought it was interesting that that's all one verse, and that it says created 3 times. Just my little tidbit of, I think my phone's just broken now.
Well, and I'm the kook that follows, that wasn't, it's not true. Troy Brewer, he is a preacher out of Texas, and he has propheticnumbers.com, and 3 is one of the numbers that stands for complete.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, you know, that's so many days from death to resurrection, 3 days, and, you know, it makes sense.
Yep. It's all scriptural. It's just, a lot of people don't know that numbers signify specific things. Yeah.
Guys, they don't want us to read this passage in Genesis because it is not coming up. I might just have to go print it. Anyways, I mean, I guess we can summarize it. We don't have to read the entire thing. So, on day 6, made all of the wild animals, made all of the cattle, they say livestock in some versions, and the animals that move along the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So they talk about that.
Crawlers.
The creepy crawlers. And then he goes on to talk about, you know, creating God in his own image. The second verse that I chose for this week, or verse passage, is John 15, 1-5. And is, I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit he prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. And then Joshua 1:8, keep this book of laws always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. And the important word in the Joshua 1:8 is the then. Then you will be prosperous and successful. It doesn't say you will be prosperous and successful and then you can meditate because you'll have time.
Right.
Means you'll meditate on God's word, then you'll be prosperous and successful. So, while I was researching to do this, I'll write down like 19 different ideas. And I got on Facebook actually kind of out of frustration just for a break, and this meme popped up that I think it was from this page that I follow that's Faith Over Fear. And it says, people pray for the cake, then God gives them the batter, eggs, oil, icing, a pan, and an oven. But yet they get frustrated and leave the kitchen. Let that sink in. Sometimes you have everything right in front of you, but how bad do you want it? Mm-hmm. And I thought, it took me down, because I'd been reading about, you know, obviously we're in Genesis and original sin and what it meant for us, and then we go back and I read Matthew chapter 6 and how he goes on about why would you worry? Like, I've got you taken care of. I take care of the birds and I make sure, you know, they don't worry about where their food is coming from. They know that I've taken care of them. And why do you worry when you know that I've taken care of you? And how in the garden when it first started, he took care of them. Like, they didn't have to farm. They just had food at their disposal. They just had to pick it off a tree, you know. Mm-hmm. And that was my thought process with it. And I'm like, so, yes, we were punished from original sin to where we have to toil for our food, but he's still readily available. And then I went through this whole little path of there's different religions that believe that you have to work for salvation. Mm-hmm. And I think in a sense that you do. Like, you don't have to work to earn brownie points for salvation, but you have to put in the effort, you know.
For salvation to come to
completeness, to be what it's supposed to be, you know.
For heaven to come to earth.
Yes.
Here for you.
Like, God's right there. You just have to open that door. And in case you guys just wanted to go into my crazy brain of how all this came to be. But, he did. I mean, he created us in his likeness, and the world that we see it as it is today is just so unlike God. Mm-hmm. And,
it's true.
And I feel like I'm some crazy old lady going, the world today, it wasn't like this when I was a child. I'm going to sound like that when I'm an old lady, too.
All raspy and...
Yes.
Oh, man.
Smoked 5 packs a day for 20 years. These young bucks, they don't know. Anyways, but I said in the day and age we live in now, it seems like people are just getting further and further away from God. And then we blame him for it.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, where is he? He could just fix everything. It could be a perfect world in a moment. And why, God, why? And we're just so dramatic and like he's not doing enough. And in reality, we're the ones not doing enough.
Right.
So, this is a conversation that I actually have a lot with somebody that I know. It's like, well, why can't he just show himself and then everybody would believe? Why does he have to be so mysterious and far removed and he's just some imaginary man in the sky? Because if he wasn't imaginary, he'd be here.
Well, then it would go against free will.
Yes.
That's my answer.
That's her answer. But, so I said, he hasn't gone anywhere. We're the ones that have fallen away. Mm-hmm. But we can be redeemed, just like the meme says. He gives us everything we need. He takes care of us. But as it says in Joshua 1:8-9, you must meditate, think deeply, or focus, consider is what meditate means.
Yes.
To be prosperous and successful. He gives you the tools. Like, he gives you everything you need. Mm-hmm. And I said he gives you the Bible, he gives you prayer, he gives you Holy Spirit, he gives you all of these things to be close to him. But we're so lazy. We're just true. Like, I'm going to sleep in the morning, and then I don't have time. And then at the night, I'm tired, I'm watching this Netflix show, so I'm going to watch 5 more episodes, and I don't have time to open my Bible or pray. And that's on us. So then we'll feel like we're so far away from God, and we think that he's left us, but in reality, we've left him.
Right.
All we have to do, I say this, all we have to do is put in a little time and energy, and what you put into it is what you're going to get back. Like, once you have decided you're committed to this, you are doing it, it's going to feed you. Mm-hmm. He's just like, oh, manna, and he just like throws it at you, you know? It's like
Lambert's.
Yes.
The throwing of rolls.
I've just been waiting. How many do you want? You want 5 rolls? You want 10? I got you covered. You know, now he's the old lady, and he's like, you want a cookie? You want all of the cookies and a brownie. You have a brownie too, okay? Here you go.
How about ice cream? Do you like it with ice cream? A little hot fudge on the side? Yep. I mean...
Sprinkles. We've got sprinkles. We've got 8 kinds. You want all 8 kinds? He's got it, you know?
Oh, it's so good.
But, so I didn't talk a lot about the animal part of day 6. And just largely because I didn't really know what to say. Yes, animals are important, and I think that, like with the livestock, obviously, you know, we tend to them and they feed us in return, and there's this whole circle of life thing going on. But Whitney brought up when we were talking about it yesterday, you know, man's best friend with dogs. I have 3, and I think about that, like how caring that they are, and they're just there for your enjoyment. Like you're hard pressed to find even a human that loves you as much as your dog's going to love you.
It's true.
So I think that was just one more aspect of the tools that he's giving you to get through your life. Food, we're back to that. He gives you food, he gives you livestock, he gives you a way of, like, people, that's how they, by farming, that's how they make their money, and farming basically rules the world, and...
Yeah, without them, we'd be in trouble.
We would be in big trouble.
Is it Caroline Leaf that has she cited the study, it might have been her or Chris Valentine, I can't remember, but how they removed elephants off of a certain piece of land because they thought they were getting too many and it was going to hurt the agriculture that was there. So they took a bunch of them away. And actually what happened is, over a span of time, that the land that was plush and had lots of greenery and all that, it turned to desert. And then once they brought the elephants back and put them back, then the grass began to grow because they were tending or tilling it up. They were, in essence, the farmers of that.
That's
that
really
land.
Interesting.
But I think that too, that they're, in essence, like Alison said, they're a tool. They are a tool. Like, their hooves are made specifically so that they till up the land, with or without them, with or without the plow. He put it in them from the very get to till up the land, to help us tend. I think that's why they were on the same day as us, because they're bigger. They can...
Well, and they help us. You could think about all kinds of things, even with horses.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't use them for transportation now. I took horse riding lessons, and just the relationship that you build with your horse is fascinating. Like, they are so smart. They are incredibly smart creatures, and they know, like, I can't remember, there's a study that my instructor told me about. It's like within 10 feet of you getting within them, they know what mood you're in. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't even have to touch them. They don't even have to look with you. They can look at you. They can just feel it coming off of you, and so they know how they need to respond. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
And, like, when you're riding them, they know when you tense up. And my horse was so sensitive. Like, I could barely, like, tighten a muscle and he would turn, and I'm like, wait a minute, we're not going that direction, where are you going? But they're so in sync with us,
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
It's just different. Yes, Emily, it is snow. It's snowing here too, and I was the only one that was happy about it.
I'm not happy. I am over it. Just want everyone to know.
She is over the snow.
Whitney is done with the snow. As long as it doesn't accumulate on the roads, I guess I don't really care. But if it makes it to where I can't go somewhere...
And I told her, I said, this is not accumulation snow. This is for show snow. It's because it's February, and it's like, oh, we're just going to be pretty today and snow.
It's not pretty.
It is. So, back to this. I have same person that I have the conversation about, imaginary man in the sky. They'll say, when am I going to win the lottery so I can retire? And so I thought about that. I'm like, you still have to go buy the ticket. Like, you still have to get in the car and walk in the store and get the ticket and pay for it and check the numbers. Like, it's not just somebody hands you a ticket and you won $1 million. Like, you've still got to put in the steps to make it work. And
it's true.
Like, God is just waiting for you to see him in your reflection. When you meditate on his word and his goodness, you can't help but be transformed into the loving, patient, helpful being he created you to be. All the ingredients and the tools are there. You just have to make the cake, is what I said.
Yes. I want to talk for a second about the word meditate, because meditate to us in this Jesus walk is different than to meditate in, like, yoga. Whenever you meditate yoga-wise, they teach you to empty yourself. Well, meditate, when this Jesus walk, you're supposed to fill yourself up, to overflow with the word, so that whenever he speaks to you, you can recognize his voice because you've already read his word. He's not a person of unfamiliarity. You're comfortable, you recognize his voice, and that's how you recognize his voice. A lot of people wonder, well, how do I know it's him? How can I hear him? Which we've done a series, on the voice and how to hear. But that's just very important, that if you don't know his speech patterns through the word, then it's going to be very hard for you to recognize his voice whenever he starts to speak. And I just wanted to plug that in on the word meditate.
And with meditate too, I mean, it means to fill up on it, but it doesn't mean to just read it and cast it aside. It means to, like, think on it.
Focus.
Yes, to think on it, study it,
Ponder.
take something that stood out to you and pray about it. Let it roll, write it down. That's what I do. I'm a big person of writing down something and putting like 7 question marks behind it, and then it just like rolls in my brain and I think about it until I get the answer that I needed for that, or it applies to what it's supposed to apply to, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
That's what
That's it. But it's the studying of it, the meditating on it. It's like, even, in pop culture, they'll tell you, to pick a word for the year and to focus on that word. It's kind of the same essence. It's just bigger than that because it's God's word. But to focus on that, because what you put into your brain and think on is what you're going to beget.
And I just have another comment to make about the why he doesn't just come down and just make himself known and then everyone would believe and everyone would. Well, he's already done that once, first of all. Just because it's not in our time doesn't mean that he didn't do it. And secondly, you think about like a pop star or someone that is well known just around the world. They don't come out into the public all that often, and they don't share their innermost secrets with the world. They save that for their family. They save that for those that want to know them. Yeah. Take time to build relationship with them that they can trust. And God's the same way. He created that in us because he's that way. We don't just go on and spill our innermost secrets, most of us, to just everyone. We want to save that for our close friends that are going to receive that in love, and that we can receive advice back in love, or whatever the case might be. God's the same way. He hides his mysteries for his children because he loves us, not because he's being mean. He just doesn't want the willy-nilly religious folk that, are going to skew his word.
Are using it for their own purposes and not his purpose. Right.
To know every little thing. He saves that for those that he can see their heart, just like he instilled in the animals, where he sees our spirit, soul, and our flesh all the way. Sees who he created us to be and who we are. And he uses that to gauge his trust level with you and what he can reveal and what he needs to withhold. And the closer you get to him, the more mysteries you're going to get. And I personally love that about him because it helps you build a relationship. It gives you something to go for with him. It's not just all milk,
Right. Well, and it's just like, I don't know, I was listening to I'm listening to this sermon series, and this morning it was about the other half. And he was saying that about how I lost my train of thought. Whitney, where did it go? What did you say last?
The other half, I was talking about why he withholds mysteries.
Oh, about how we change. And how you can't find somebody that you think is going to complete you, because that's not their job. You have to be complete in yourself, and you have to be complete in God to form with another person to become one.
Right.
Like, it's not two halves make a whole. You're creating an entirely separate union of you guys together. And just that in itself of, there's nobody here that's going to do that for you.
Right.
It's just God is going to do that for you. About a week ago, I posted on Emily Adventure Lane this thing about Demi Lovato. I love her. Mm-hmm. Like, I have for years. She's just one of those people that she's very tortured, mm-hmm. And she's very authentic. She's very talented. And, like, I saw her on an episode of Grey's Anatomy, like, I don't even know, years and years and years ago, and that was like the first time that I'd seen her in anything, and I just, you know, kind of followed her since. Well, then last year she had her whole breakdown and her suicide attempt, and that just gutted me, because you always think, you know, they're famous and they're beautiful and they're talented, and what, you know,
yes.
why would they do that? Why would you do that? And she made her comeback at the Grammys and sang the song Anyone. And in it, she's like, who am I praying to anyways? Well, this week I saw an article about how her publicist or assistant or someone asked her to go to a Bible study.
Oh, nice.
And she went, and she said, now it's just about God. I'm just focusing on my relationship with God. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, not that I think that my prayers are the only prayers for Demi Lovato, and that's the reason she's went to this Bible study, but I'm like, I literally have prayed for her, and I followed her, and I'm like, that was so exciting to see that even somebody of that fame, mm-hmm. you know, that she's recognizing that I'm always going to be empty and tortured, and the fame didn't do it, and the beauty didn't do it, and the talent didn't do it, mm-hmm. but God's going to do it.
Right. I think that's fantastic. And to know that there's people at that level, too, that work with people like that aren't
right.
afraid to invite them.
Yeah. Because I'm like, I mean, think about it. I can't remember now who it was. It was like an assistant, or, you know, somebody that just, I think how nerve-wracking that had to have been.
Right.
You want to go to Bible study with me?
Like, I work for you. Please don't fire me. I know how your heart is, and you need to come with me.
I think this would be good for you,
mm-hmm.
you know? But I just thought that was fantastic. Because I posted that last week, and I didn't know that she was going to sing in the Super Bowl.
No, I didn't
on
either.
Sunday. And so then it was like after that I saw an article about it. I'm like, oh yeah, she's going to, you know. And I said that. I'm like, I did care about the Super Bowl. I'm like, I don't even care about the rest of it, but we've got to watch her sing at the beginning. Like, what's got to happen? And she did fantastic.
She did. She didn't miss a beat.
This article now, and I'm like, yes. I'm like, she's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Made me feel good.
I know. It's good to see somebody rise up from the ashes.
It is. So our worksheet for this week, question 1 was, do you feel like your life reflects that God is inside of you?
I hope so.
I hope so, but I know sometimes I really, really fail.
Me too.
But question 2 was, do you experience frustration thinking God isn't doing enough to better your life? Not really, because I know that it's my responsibility to trust in Him.
Yeah.
What are some steps that you can take to enhance your relationship with Him?
Being intentional.
Yes.
Intentionally asking for things that I want. Not just need, that I want, because He's a good Father. You know, we get hung up on that. There's scripture that goes both ways. He knows all your needs. He's going to meet all your needs. Well, yeah, but He's a good dad too, and He wants to be there in your wants too. He wants to show you how much He loves you.
Yes.
And I think that's cool, myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, intentional. Being intentional. Spending quality time with Him, not just flighty here and there, to be intentional.
Yes. Well, and it was like we were saying about, you know, the whole cake analogy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just gotta mix up the batter. You gotta put in a little bit of work, and it's not even a little bit of work, because it's addictive. It's like you start doing it, and then it's, you know, you just keep going with it.
You get the return so quickly. It feels like so quickly. At times it feels like it takes a while, but then it's like He withdraws, so you come closer, and then once you do take that step, then it's like all the cupcakes. And then He withdraws again, and you come closer, and then you get all the cookies. And then He withdraws, and you come closer, and you get, like, milkshakes. I don't know, whatever your thought process is.
We're on a sweet kick today with our cake theme.
Yeah.
Okay, so our challenge is, when you look in the mirror this week, list the characteristics of Christ that you want to see in yourself. Write these down as goals to strive to.
I think that's good.
Like, I'm not going to do this because I think my husband would probably kill me, but when I think about it, I think about looking in my mirror and writing it, like, because I'm super dramatic, like writing it in lipstick, like, on the side of the mirror. Yeah. So it's always there.
Yeah. My mind went to, like, dry erase, not lipstick, but that's so much better.
Sorry.
Bright red.
Bright red lipstick.
Yeah. For real.
But
so I guess that concludes
No, we've still got Day of Rest.
Oh, Day of Rest. Ooh.
Which is technically in chapter 2, but I thought we'd end on it.
I think that's good.
Yeah. We don't know what we're going to say about the Day of Rest because...
You rest.
But we will come up with something.
Yes, we will. Man, I love sleep, so...
I know.
I think I could come up with a few things.
All the naps.
All of them. I literally got my sister-in-law, I love her, she got me these really cute pajamas for Christmas, and technically they were from my brother too, but let's be real.
Who did that?
And the sweatshirt that came with it says Nap Queen on it, and it's just like, if I could be the Nap Queen, I would be. Mm-hmm. With 2 kids at home, I really can't be, but I will sport that because I would love to be the Nap Queen.
Well, I said, I'm like, I keep putting in a request for us to have siestas up here, and Terry keeps denying them. I feel like that's a little ridiculous.
It's true, because he would benefit from them too.
All right.
So
we will see you next week.
See you guys. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.